Today on Divorce Court.
I'm here today in divorce court to get a divorce from Joseph.
The marriage between Channa and Gadson and myself is over because I gave up.
My husband Joseph is a drunk, he's a cheater, and he just can't provide for me.
Channa, I want you to move on with your life. I want you to be happy with somebody else, even if it's not with me, because I can't give you what you want at this time.
There's nothing that Joseph can do to stop this divorce because he chosen drinking over our marriage. Joseph, I want you to get help.
Divorce court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Channa, Gadson, and Joseph Browne. The two of you have been together for 13 years, married for 5 years, but you don't want to be married anymore. Ms. Gadson, I'm going to start this thing off with you. Why don't you tell me, I'll put it to you this way. I understand that you found out on your wedding day some concerning things about Mr. Browne, and I want you to tell me what they were. What happened on your wedding day?
On my wedding day, Joseph was drunk.
Now, lots of grooms get drunk at the reception.
Right.
But was he drunk when he came?
Yes.
Did he get drunker at the reception?
Yes, he did.
Did he fall down?
No, not then.
Oh, when was it he fell down the stairs drunk?
Oh, that was later on.
Oh, that was later on. Okay,
Yes.
well, let's stay at the wedding for right now. Did you guys have any discussions or concerns at the wedding about his level of intoxication?
I couldn't believe he was drunk. I just didn't know that he was going to be drinking beforehand.
Gotcha. Mr. Browne, did you show up to the wedding lit?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. But it's our wedding day. Who doesn't get drunk? Who doesn't drink?
After the I do, not before.
Well, basically, I was nervous, even though this was my second wedding, but I was nervous, so I just
had something to calm you down a little bit. Yeah.
That's all.
But you continued to drink at the reception.
Yes.
Do you think you might have had a few too many at the reception?
Yes.
Okay. Did anything untoward happen as a result of that?
Other than joking around with my fiance while I was taking, I don't know, the thing that they still on her leg, I was taking it off with my mouth.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, everybody does that. Yeah.
And I was like
That's
turning
good.
around, laughing, making jokes while I was doing it.
Okay. Well, that's good wedding conduct. Anything that you found that made you unhappy on the wedding day other than he showed up drunk, which is not cool?
Other than that, I was just embarrassed the way he took my garter off with his teeth. And he took longer underneath my dress.
We'll stop there. Do you think his drinking is still a problem?
Yes.
Why don't you tell me how much he drinks?
He can drink from 3 a.m. all day long.
He gets up that early to drink?
Yeah.
Do you get up at 3 a.m. to drink?
Gotta go to work.
Oh, you gotta go to work? What time you go to work?
I usually wake up at 3:30, but sometimes I wake up before then I'll start right then and there.
Really? And then go to work?
Then go to work. It's not what you do, it's how you do it.
So you're quite functional when you're
Quite functional,
when
yeah.
you're
I still
drunk.
get the job done. I hang on the back of a garbage truck, never fell off once. And I'm on a garbage truck 10 to 12 hours a day.
Okay, all right. How much do you drink on any given day?
Any given day, if I'm not working...
All day.
All day long. As soon as I open my
All day.
eyes.
Mr. Browne, I want to say this to you. Thank you for your honesty. I get people coming here. Nobody ever owns how much. Oh, I drink socially. Oh, I have one or two. You came in here. I get lit from the minute I get up and keep drinking till I get... Has the doctor ever told you you might need to slow it down?
No.
Have you been to the doctor?
I've been to the doctor. Last time I've been to the doctor, I found out I had kidney stones.
Okay.
But that wasn't from drinking.
But your liver's okay? Your AC1, all that's cool?
All
your
good.
blood work is all good?
All good.
Is he telling me the truth?
Yeah, he's telling you the truth about that, but it's not like he's going to tell the doctor he drinks all day.
Right.
He's not going to tell that. And I have to keep on getting on his case about it.
Eventually, it's gonna catch up with you.
Yeah, I know.
You understand that?
I understand that.
But you don't care.
It's not I don't care, it's in my blood. It's a heritage.
Do you have a family history of alcoholism?
Yes.
Okay. I understand that alcohol is not the only problem. You also believe that Mr. Browne is cheating on you. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Why don't you tell me why you believe that?
What happened was that I went to his job to pick him up, and he wasn't there. And a former co-worker came to me and said that he just left with a former worker. They just left. And so I drove down the street upset because he knew I was coming. I passed by the park, and I saw him there with a woman. And I kept on going. I went home. I called him plenty of times. And he just didn't call me back. So when he got ready, he called me back. And he said, I'm with a former co-worker. We're having drinks, and I'll be home in a few. So when he came home with her, she came to my door first. She asked me could she use the restroom. I let her. She went straight to my restroom like she'd been in my apartment before. So that was a red flag for me, for someone that's not cheating on me.
Right.
And after that, she came out and she said that your husband talks about sex so much at the job and all the women want to try him. And I said, do you want to try my husband or have you? And she said, no.
All the women at work want you?
That's what she said. I don't know. I barely paid them any mind.
Yeah. Do you recall that conversation?
Somewhat.
Bringing home that
Oh,
coworker?
yeah, because we was hanging out that night. Okay, what she was talking about that day, we was working a B shift, and there was no work. So we supposed to have hung out after the shift was over, but since we wasn't working...
You just hung out?
We just hung out.
I got you.
We was drinking, and she took me to her house, but she told me where she lived, but we left her house. We didn't even stay.
She showed him a stripper pole. So if nothing happened, why
Your
would...
stripper pole?
She has the former co-worker.
Oh, she had the stripper pole.
So why
So
bring...
she showed you her stripper pole?
She showed me her whole house.
Okay, including the stripper pole.
So
it was in the house.
It was in the house.
I got you.
So after that, while we was in the house, he came in after her, and she said he made her comfortable. And I looked at him like he was crazy. Because how can you really get comfortable with someone, well, I don't know her. So I was upset about that, but I just sat back and listened. She kept on saying that nothing happened. I got a good husband. He loves me. She wished he was single, and then she would try him.
All righty, okay. So I understand. I think I've gotten the picture there. I also understand that the two of you have some serious financial troubles, and that is also leaning on your marriage, so I want to talk about that next.
The bills, I kept on saying to him, the bills, need a job. I need you to help me. He would go and get a beer. It's like he just didn't care.
You told her to get a sugar daddy. Is that accurate?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Ms. Gadson, you say Mr. Browne is not holding down the fort economically. Why don't you explain that to me?
Joseph cannot keep a job long, and he drinks all the time. So that's more important to him is drinking. And he was working a job driving 2 hours away and 2 hours back, and the commute was too long, so he quit. So that means all the bills would be on me. And it piled up, and I couldn't handle it by my income, because my income stopped Social Security by being married to him. So after that, the bills, I kept on saying to him, the bills, need a job. I need you to help me. He would go and get a beer. It's like he just didn't care.
Mr. Browne, what's your take on your financial situation?
It's not that I didn't care. I was trying my best to find a job closer to home, but due to the fact I have a felony, it was kind of hard. But every day I still get up and go to the library, sit there for 2 hours, look online for a job, and I find nothing.
Right.
He was gone longer than 2 hours.
Yeah, I was gone because, you know.
But you're working now, though, right?
I'm working now.
Okay. You do understand that it's difficult to find a job when you have a felony and you're drunk all day, but that we won't even go there. But a felony in and of itself makes it difficult. You're aware of that, right?
I'm aware of it, but why get married if you cannot handle taking care of each other?
Yeah.
Because he already knew I was disabled.
Can you work?
No, I'm disabled for life.
Is it a physical disability, emotional?
I was hit by a drunk driver.
Uh-huh.
So my arm was broken 2 places, hip 2 places, left leg, right knee, bleeding in the brain. So I have, problems with memory.
Okay, all right, all right. I'm glad you told me that because physical disability, sometimes can be overcome by, depending on the kind of job you have, if you have a less physical job. But if you have the kind of disability that most people just can't see, they don't understand. How is she collecting disability when, in fact, you have an issue where you cannot remember stuff? So I just wanted to clear that up. Mr. Browne, when you got married, were you concerned that once she got married, she would lose her disability and you weren't that job secure?
Yes, I was, but before we got married, we used to talk about it. But, we've been together so long, we just said, no, get married.
Let's get married.
And just get married anyway and see how things works out.
Now, Mr. Browne, I have in my notes that you told her to get a sugar daddy. Is that accurate?
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's
Under
true.
what circumstances did that happen?
Because, financially, I couldn't find a job at the point. So since he was helping us out, I said, let him help.
Oh, there was a particular dude that was helping.
Yeah, one of our ex-boyfriends.
Didn't bother you?
It didn't bother me.
Do you think they were seeing each other
No.
again?
I know they was good friends.
They were good friends
Yeah.
and he was just helping you
Yeah,
out.
just helping us
Is
out.
that accurate?
Yes, we were just good friends.
And he helped you out.
Yes, he helped me out a lot. And he felt that it was fine because it kept more money in his pocket so he can buy beer.
Where do you get your beer money when you're not working?
Walk around, pick up cans and bottles.
Oh, okay.
So he could help pay the bills.
I want to move off of this topic on to the next topic, which is, Ms. Gadson, you say your husband, Mr. Browne, is verbally abusive, and I want you to tell me why you say that. So you knew to stay away from malt liquor,
Yeah.
but you said, let me give it a shot this
Just
one
get this
time,
one time.
and it made you ugly.
And it made me ugly.
It made him real ugly.
Is it okay for your partner to develop friendships with coworkers of the opposite sex? Tell us what you think at Divorce Court. Ms. Gadson, you say when Mr. Browne is drinking, he's verbally abusive. What kind of things does he say to you?
We was going to the mall one day. I'm driving, and I get a phone call, and he said, "Who are you talking to? A man?" I said, "No, not at all. It was a family member." And he just started cussing me out. He was drunk. And when he cussed me out, he said, "Nobody wants your disabled butt." So I turned around, took him back home, and he was just calling me names. You just don't do that. But when he's drunk.
Mr. Browne, is that true, or do you have a different take on how your communication occurs between the two of you?
It's true, because I tried the beer that I never tried before, and it was like malt liquor, because years ago I stopped drinking malt liquor, because every time I drank malt liquor, I would fight with somebody.
Oh, okay.
So I decided I wanted to try it, and I regret doing that. I drank
So
it.
you knew to stay away from malt liquor,
Yeah.
but you said, let me give it a shot this
Just
one
get this
time,
one time.
and it made you ugly.
And it made me ugly.
It made him real ugly.
Okay.
It woke up
Was
my
that
side.
a one-time malt liquor-related event, or is he abusive when he's drunk generally?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
It all depends on what he's drinking, because he drinks different beers.
So you notice the difference between the white liquors and the red and the browns?
Yeah, that's why I stay away from malt liquor, period.
Huh, interesting. I've always heard that, but I always thought it was an old wives' tale. But apparently, at least for you,
Yeah.
it's true.
It's true.
You say he's embarrassed you in your family. What has he done that has embarrassed you?
I invited some family over, and I asked him ahead of time, if I pick them up, can you drop them off? He said, no problem. I went and got my family, came back to the house. He went into another room while we stayed in the living room. So while we in the living room and then it was almost time for them to go home, I said, "Joseph, can you take them home now?" And he came out, eyes all red. He was drunk. And I couldn't believe it because I didn't know he was in there drinking. Mm-hmm. And he came out calling me names, talk about you need a job. He's tired of taking care of all the bills. And that was embarrassing.
Mr. Browne, do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes.
Were you drinking malt liquor that day, too?
Most likely I probably was. I have short memory relapse, too, sometimes.
Right. Are you mad at her?
I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at myself,
Why are you mad at yourself?
because I can't support her financially like she's supposed to be treated.
Did you hear that, Ms. Gadson?
Yes.
Do you believe him?
Yes.
I believe him too. I mean, you both are in a very negative situation, and because of that, you're fighting each other instead of fighting the problems.
Right.
Maybe what we need here is a redirection of our attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about it then. What would you do if your partner became disabled and unable to work? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. What I would suggest to the two of you is to band together and fight the problems and don't fight each other. If the fight for disability has been fought and exhausted, now you have to fight to find things that you can do that, you know, I mean, I don't know how creative you can get with that. I'm gonna send you to somebody to talk to somebody about what you can do. But have you addressed your drinking at all, or do you not intend to?
Be honest, I don't intend to.
You just ready to ride that bottle all the way through to the end?
Ride it to the end.
Your distress over your inability to support your wife does not somehow push you into the direction of handling the liquor at all?
No, since we've been separated for 9 months now, I gave up.
So you left?
I left because I became homeless.
So once you get divorced, you'll be able to get disability again?
Yes.
Hell of a way to solve a problem, but
His drinking comes first.
yeah. And he's made his decision.
Yes.
He picked the bottle over you.
Yes. And I just can't be with someone that cannot provide.
Mrs. Gadson, I wish you the best.
Thank
I
you.
really, really do. You've had a lot of tremendously bad luck. From the car accident to Mr. Browne. I'm gonna tell you this, I think he loves you. I think he's just an addict and there's nothing he can do about it. And it's not a lack of love or a lack of motivation, it's just the disease is so with him, he can't shake it. And I hope you don't take it as a personal affront, because an alcoholic is an alcoholic is an alcoholic. And Mr. Browne, I hope you don't give up altogether, because I know some alcoholics who were there and now aren't there anymore. I'd hate for you to go out, you know, with cirrhosis of the liver or some nonsense like that. I think you're a good guy. I think you got, I can see a warmth in your eyes. I can see a hurt in your heart. I know that a conversation with me ain't gonna change a lifetime worth of drinking. Believe that. I am not a silly chick, but I just want to dangle out some hope there. Just float it out there, and I say, you go, sister. Strong, beautiful.
Thank you.
You've made your moves. You saw what the situation is. Now you're going to deal with the situation. And you know, before you get another dude, consider the disability. You know what I mean? You don't want to get caught with a cat that can't do right by you. Okay?
Okay.
Love is cool, but money is necessary. This matter is adjourned.
So what happens now, moving forward?
Moving forward, divorce.
Yeah.
And helping him with his drinking if he allowed me to help him.
Okay.
Because we were good friends from the beginning.
Right. She loves you as a friend. She just told me a couple minutes ago. Will you accept her help?
I will accept her help, and she's serious about it.